come to ask for that which belongs to another. We have not come to take that which belongs to another. All we have asked for is ours. The land that our fathers and the fathers before them have been living. Our land from ancient times. Lord, that is what we ask for. That our people be free, that our people live freely in this time and in this generation and the generations to come, that our destinies be in our hands and not in the hands of those that hate us, that the terrorists shall be driven far away from our lands, and all those that love to drink our blood, we shall see them no more. And that is why we are here. We have trusted in no other but you. We have put our faith in none other but the Creator that created the whole heavens and the earth. We say thank you. Thank you for how much you have led us. For you will never disappoint us. We say thank you. We say thank you. Today, this is our topic today is Judgment Day. Judgment Day. It was heard, but they refused to give us judgments. They refused to give us judgments and said that it will be, the judgment shall be given on the 15th of December. And the question is why? Why do you think this was done? Why do you think the judgment was shifted to December 15th? Is it that they do not know the judgment to give, Or is it that the situation, the case is so complex that the Supreme Court will need a whole lot of time to go through all these details that the lawyers have presented to them, the lawyers for and the lawyers against have presented to them? Is it that they need all this whole lot of time to go through all this case for them to be able to pass judgment? Is it the time that they do not have, or is it that they need more time? Is that why they gave December 15th? You must realize something, that from the very beginning of this whole case, it has been adjournment. Why? Why have they been buying time? Why have they been adjourning the case? From the very beginning, they have been adjourning the case. From the time that they announced that they are holding our leader, that is about 8 days of when they held him in Kenya and brought him to the zoo. When they brought him to the zoo and they announced that, oh, we have this man now, he's with us. They were celebrating. But right, they were supposed to take him to court the next day. But no, they kept on adjourning. First was 3 months, three months. They started just 2 months, 3 months, 2 months, 3 months. So why have they been doing this? Why have they been elongating this case? Why do you think they have been elongating this case? Some people will think that, oh, it's normal, it's the usual, it's the norm. No. They have started this movement for this whole while, and they have seen that our leader Mazi is the fuel of the Biafra movement. His voice resounding on the radio consistently from time to time fuels the agitation, makes people to do everything that they do. Whatever he says, people does it. So they calculated that if we separate this man from his people, then the struggle would die a natural death. Then we can release him, because they know that they cannot kill him. It is difficult. Or even if they want to kill him, the struggle must first of all die. The struggle must first of all die a natural death before they can kill him or just release him and all. Now, the case is this. If they succeed to make the struggle die a natural death, the ball will now be on their court. They know that even if this struggle seems to have died, if Mazi comes out today and he continues with the struggle, he continues on the radio, our people will come back. Many people that have forgotten about the struggle will come back because the love is there. You cannot diminish that love. So the system is this, the plan, the strategy is this. If they are able, because they couldn't fight the fire, they couldn't quench the fire, while Mazi is still on preaching, he can't quench the fire. So they believe that Mazi is the fire. And because they believe that the man is the fire, they went after him to cover the fire. So that, to cover the source of the fire, so that the fire would die a natural death. Okay, if you've studied about fire and how to fight fire, you understand this. You understand this. It's my field. So they went after the fire, which is Mazi to quench it. No, not to quench it, but to cover it. Keep it on hold. That is why they did not take him to is it recreational center it is called, or what, prisons, whereby he can have access to phones, he can be talking to our people. Okay, so they did not take him there, so that even if he passes message, the message can be doubted, and people can misbehave, people can behave the way they like, people can just do whatever they like. But it has not worked entirely, even though to an extent it seems to be working slowly, because some people over time, some people get tired. Oh, this person, I don't like the way this person spoke to me, I am tired. Oh, I was taken out of office unjustly, I'm not doing it again, I'm tired. One thing or the other. Oh, this person said this, person said that, I am tired, I'm not doing this thing again. So, but there are some of us that can never get tired. I know some time back, some people that have gotten tired, that cared for me, knowing that if you do not back out and you continue with the same fire and the same fervor, those people that want to quench the fire will come after you. As of then, they have not come after me in the measure that they did, or in the measure that they are coming after me even till now, because they are still after me. So as of then, they had not started. So, but I was still broadcasting, and some people that cared were like, don't you think that you should just drop this thing? See, this person is not serious. These people are not serious. Just stop this thing and focus on your life. My response is that this is my life. I cannot continue and just focus on my life, just continue like a thief. This never happened like as if our people are free already, or as if our people are never in bondage, or as if there is a solution that has come out. Okay, I just can't take it. So even though I know that there are dangers, and it's not easy, many people are being killed in our land, many people are being kidnapped, many people are taken away for years. Anything about them anymore, they'll just disappear. Okay, but the fear cannot overshadow the desire to see change. So it is a fact that there are some of us that we have overcome fear. We have overcome the fear of death. We have overcome the fear of hunger. We have overcome the fear of defeat. Whether we eat or we do not eat, we are going to continue. whether we are fine or not, we are going to continue. It doesn't matter what state. It doesn't matter what the enemy does. It doesn't matter how they try to weaken you in whatever. If you have the fire in you, you will continue. You cannot stop. You cannot say, oh, this person spoke to me this way, I will stop. No, it is not possible. You cannot stop. So, because there are some of us that cannot stop and have never stopped, even though there are many things that is playing out that looks very discouraging, whereby you look at it and you begin to ask yourself, the same people that I am supposed to be working with are working against me, are calling me names, are doing everything to make sure that I am destroyed, are doing everything to make sure that I am not able. I remember some people, even on my Facebook page, some people are right. Why don't you just cool down? Just keep quiet. Just cool down. Don't do this thing again. Because of positions and all of that, I did not start doing this because of position. So irrespective of whatever anybody's opinion about the position that I occupy in this movement, it doesn't change the work that we do. Okay, it doesn't change what we do, irrespective of your position, irrespective of your of what you feel about the position, about what this person said, or whether it is legitimate, whether it is illegitimate, whatever. All those things do not matter. What matters is what we are doing. What matters is the cause. What matters is the freedom of our leader and the freedom of our nation. Now, having said all this, and looking at how far they have been playing with this case. Bita Eyako played with the case in her time until it got to appeal court, and we thank God for the first set of appeal court that handled the case, the first set of judges that handled the case in appeal court. They did that repeatedly, whereby we had results, but the enemy wasn't pleased. Immediately they tried to obtain the result, but the result is the result. The result is already there. Okay, even though you try to obtain the result is already there, and it is still speaking. The result is already there; it is still speaking. The human rights group in the UN statement is still there, and it is still speaking on behalf of our leader. And that is why the Supreme Court cannot turn all over and come to give one judgment that does not make sense. So what do they need? If they want to give, you see how they handled this, how they gave this false judgment for Peter Obi. Okay. It is because they have already broken the spirit of the so-called obedience. They have broken their spirit. So they gave the judgments and nothing happened. I said it. I wrote about it on my, before that judgment, I think that day of the judgment or a day before the judgment, I wrote about it on my Facebook, on my Facebook page. And I asked the question, if these judgments, if they give a biased judgment, what will you do? What are you going to do? Absolutely nothing. And that was how it happened. They gave a biased judgment and they did nothing. Absolutely what? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Now, but in the case of our leader, that is why they cannot give a judgment against the truth. They can't give a biased judgment. Our leader's case right now is an international case, even though the international community is pretending not to see. But it is an international case. You must realize that. The international community cannot be against our leader. It is not possible. Even though some of them, Britain and all these other ones, we know that they are working on the ground against our leader. They are working on the ground against Biafra, but they cannot come out openly to do it like our people will say, kuro kuro. You understand? They cannot do it that way. So because they can't do it that way, what they want to do is to break the spirit of the people. If they cannot break your spirit, they cannot give a biased judgment. And they keep pushing this thing to see when they will be able to break your spirit. The Supreme Court's date was supposed to be September. They kept on playing with it until they pushed it to October. I want you to understand something. You should realize that prior to this time, there were things happening in West Africa, in Niger, in Mali, in Burkina Faso. All these things happening in these places. Some people thought it had nothing to do with Biafra, or it would have had nothing to do with Biafra. Some of us, all the time, while I was broadcasting during that period, I was always making sure I was hitting hard on that thing that they were planning to come and do in West Africa, that invasion. Now, that invasion wouldn't have affected us directly, but there is something it would have done. Do not forget that when our land was colonized, these colonizers came into our land slowly. These Europeans, they came to our land slowly and planted themselves in places they called colonies. They planted themselves in different places in Africa. In West Africa, they planted themselves in different places and colonized those places. Planted themselves in Lagos, planted themselves in Calabar, planted themselves, I think, somewhere close to Accra or so in Ghana, which they called Gold Coast then. Different places like that in West Africa. So it was from these their colonial territories, these are colonies, these are colony states, that they now invaded the rest of the places. They planted themselves in what is called Port Harcourt today, which was that territory before. They were calling it Oil Rivers. Okay, that territory was called Oil Rivers. It was, so they planted themselves there then, but that Port Harcourt, their Port Harcourt planting, it wasn't very, very strong until they had conquered from behind. Okay, but time will fail us to tell all those stories. So what they did was to first of all come in with their armies. Oh, we want to protect you. We want to protect you. Before they even started doing the protecting, they have already mapped out some places for colonies. Okay, they had already mapped out in South Africa. It was Cape Town. They had already mapped out some places, so they were already on ground with their armies and their armories. So by the time they started having clashes, they don't need to come from the sea. They don't need to begin to bring their weapons from the sea, because if they are bringing their weapons from the sea, the fighters on the ground will intercept them. They will not be able to hold ground. So they first of all came and held ground first. Now, come to today. Even though they had already planted some fragments of what do they call it, camps. No, they wanted to come, because now even with these their camps that they had, or what do they call those their military places, even with those places, if things get very, very tough with the Wagner and all of that, they'll be flushed out very, very fast. Okay, they'll be flushed out from West Africa very, very fast. So they needed to come into West Africa and sit down very, very well, in such a way that even though they are encountering Wagner, it will not be easy for Wagner. They wanted to come in fully with their force, with their army, air force, navy, and everything, to come and sit in Africa, saying that they want to fight terrorism. Now, if that had been done, do not forget Biafra land is in West Africa. It wouldn't have been difficult for them to, from Benin, move down to Biafra land, either through water or through land. Through Lagos. Lagos is already Nigeria, and definitely it is Nigeria that is holding Biafra hostage. So it's not that Nigeria will ask them, why are you coming? Of course, it's Nigeria that will invite them. Say, come and fight these people. They are terrorists. Is that not what they have called Biafrans? Is that not the name they call Biafrans so that they can wipe everybody out? So it would have been very, very easy for them. But since they failed, get this point very, very clearly, very, very important. This point is very important. Since they failed to come with their army and their air force and all their military to come and settle in West Africa and make West Africa their fighting zone, whereby they can begin to show all their hearts to Russia, because they couldn't do it at they could not do it in Europe, okay, because Europe, it is their home. Even America will not want to provoke Russia in Europe because their brothers are there, their friends are there. Okay, so they don't want to do it in Europe. They don't want Europe to be heated up. So they wanted to bring it to West Africa so that they can really show Russia their strength and capture West Africa. And maybe kick Russia out and capture West Africa. That was their plan. To show their full strength. To show Russia that we're not afraid of you. We are not afraid of you. It's just that we don't want Europe to burn. We are not afraid of you. So they wanted to come and do it in Africa because they don't care if Africa burns. They don't care if the zoo Nigeria burns, if Benin burns, if Burkina Faso burns, if Ghana burns, if Togo burns. They don't care about the people or the infrastructure or the land. They don't care about anything over there. So they were ready to make this place the war zone, whereby they can encounter Russia and show all their grievances to Russia. But it failed because the African people are beginning to become wise. The people are beginning to be wise. So that mission failed. It was a failed mission. So because that mission failed, they now know that the Biafran cause, because their plan, that was their last lap. That plan was their last lap. Because if they had come in, if they had come into Biafra, if they had come into West Africa, their plan was, now they are here. And it will now be the choice of Biafrans to either accept defeat, okay, accept defeat, or they will run over Biafra land. Because it will take them nothing to move down to Biafra land. They will come and engage Biafrans directly. And maybe bring one reason or the other and tag terrorism. You know, there are some people they've been paying already on Facebook that any small thing that happens in Biafra land, whether it is Biafrans that did it or it is not Biafrans, whether it is the zoo police or the zoo army, provided they are not able to identify the actors of this, they will just rise up and shout and say it is Biafrans that did it, and begin to call names. So the calling of names and all these things were already planned out. It was a script planned out. So by the time they come, they will now, that is when they will now recognize and say, indeed, maybe IPOB is not the terrorists, but there are terrorists there, so we are coming. And you should know, when army come into a place, provided there are no pictures, there are no videos, what they are going to be doing on ground will be different from what the news will be saying. What they are going to be doing on ground, what they are going to be doing to people, it will be different from what you'll be hearing in the news. So why people be there shouting and complaining, hey, what is happening? the news will be telling a different thing. And before you know it, the story will be another story. So that was their plan. I knew it, but as at then I did not want to talk about it. I felt like the time wasn't right for me to talk about this their plan. But I just focused on standing by Niger, because what Niger is doing is their right. Standing by Niger and the right of Niger and Mali and Burkina Faso, and exposing the evil of invading West Africa by France and European Union. You should understand that these people work hand in hand. Okay, do not think that Britain is not part of the European Union and that they are not the same. They are one and the same. They are one and the same. After all, were they not part of the European Union? They were. The United States was not saying that they are going to come directly. But we all know that they are all part of the same game. It is all the same game. They are part of it. So don't forget that they are one and the same thing. So when you hear that France is coming, when you hear the European Union is coming, it is one and the same game. One and the same people. So these people would have come here, and you can imagine we saying that we want to combat European Union in battle. That is not going to make sense at all. It's not going to make sense, because this is European Union bringing their army down to West Africa. Is it that kind of an army that Biafra will be able to combat? When combating Nigerian army is not easy. Okay, it's not that it is not possible for us to stop Nigeria on our land if it gets to that. But definitely we all know it's not easy. It's not easy. Not an easy work to do. But is it after then that they will now give our leader condition and say that the kind of condition that they gave to kings on our land and chiefs on our land before they accepted to sign protectorate? Some of you thought that our people were just totally deceived. All of them were deceived. Not all of them were deceived. Many of them fought. Majority were not deceived to sign that protectorate. Majority were not deceived to sign that protectorate. The only people that you can say that were deceived were the people that allowed themselves to become British colony. Those are the people you can say that were deceived, because Britain have been there for long. They allowed their land to be used as a colony of Britain. So they were more like partners, friends. So those ones you can say they were deceived. But all those other places that they said protectorate, most of it was by force. Most of the places called protectorate, it was by force. Our people resisted, and they gave them conditions. Either we eliminate everybody, every living thing, dog, fowl, anything that lives, anything that breathes in your territory, or you accept to sign that will protect you. That was the condition they gave to King Jaja Opobo. In case you have not read your history, that was the condition they gave to King Jaja Opobo. They gave him the condition. They told him that is after they have driven in with their army, and their army is ready. After conquering many other places, they told him, this your kingdom, it is either you accept, you sign off peacefully, we are going to come. Or if you want to fight, no problem, we'll fight. But be rest assured that when we defeat you, we'll eliminate anything that lives, anything that breathes. You can imagine these people that have held our leader for 2 years plus coming down here to give him such conditions. Definitely, this discussion will not be held in the open. It will be held in the dark. Nobody will know. Even CCTV will not carry the information. It will not be held in the open. Such meetings are not held in the open. They are held in secret places. So I can imagine them giving our leader such conditions. It will be difficult for our leader to refuse. Because now this is not about just his life. Because the people are here. They will run down. Our leader knows that if it is the zoo that want to run our land down, it will not be possible. But not when the whole European Union come to fight it by themselves. It's different when they are giving the zoo weapons and all that. That is different. It's a totally different ballgame from when they come in by themselves. It will be a different thing. So that is one of our major victories that we did not fight directly. It was a victory for us. It was, to them, they saw it as an opportunity to use one stone and kill two birds. The Biafra issue had been there for long, so they wanted to use this Niger issue as an excuse to bring their army in and use it to kill two birds, but it did not work. Initially, they wanted to come in the dark. They wanted ECOWAS to invade Niger. They wanted Nigeria to lead that. ECOWAS to invade Niger. Nigerian president have cockroach in his cupboard. Many presidents in West Africa have cockroach in their cupboard. They are using their weaknesses to blackmail them to go into war with Niger. But it did not work. It did not work. Fortunately, the same people in Niger are the same people in northern Nigeria. So the people in northern Nigeria knew that this war will be fought directly on their land. Knowing that Wagner is already there, they knew that it is not going to be easy at all. And allowing the whole of West Africa to come and be killing our brothers in Niger, or their brothers in Niger, they knew that it is not something that they want. So they resisted. Even though not just them, we all resisted. Initially, I was unconcerned until I gave it a thought over and over again, and I said, no, these people can use the opportunity to invade our land. They can use the opportunity to invade our land. And our vision, our dream has always been from the beginning. From the beginning, it has always been to protect the whole of Africa. That is our interest in the Biafra movement. The freedom of Africa, the freedom of Biafra, and the freedom of Africa. But first thing first, freedom of Biafra. So when that failed, that was when they now allowed the Supreme Court. Are you seeing? When they failed, when they saw that we can no longer come here, it's not going to work. All the secrets have been exposed. The whole world will know that we invaded West Africa for the second time. For the second time in 200 years. The world will know that we invaded West Africa. So they had to pull out. Pulling out now the whole case, the whole scenario is now in the hands of Biafrans, in the minds of Biafrans, because they are playing games on our minds. They want us to relax and go and sleep. They are threatening lots of people in the dark. That some people are coming and saying things that sounded Nigerian or pro-Nigeria. The lawyers are coming to say things so that we can accept releasing them at all costs. At the cost of the freedom. That's the kind of condition they are giving to us. If you understand if you understand the line of that message. Of course, the lawyers, even though they might be Biafrans, they are Nigerian lawyers. We should not get that out of them. We should not begin to see them like freedom fighters. The lawyers are not freedom fighters. Okay, the lawyers are Nigerian lawyers, and they are serving as Nigerian lawyers. They are defending our leader on the Nigerian laws and international laws. Okay, so, but it is not in the place of the lawyers to begin to tell us the kind of peace that we need. You should understand that. The place of the lawyers is to defend our leader. I know it is their interest. It is their interest for our leader to be free. They would want to do it at anyhow they want to do it. Anyhow it is achievable, they would want to achieve it, that their clients will be free. But the lawyers are not freedom fighters. So whether Biafra comes or Biafra doesn't come, it's not primarily the business of the lawyers. Whether Mazi is forced to sign, to agree to Nigeria for Biafra land to be with Nigeria is not in the interest, or should I say, not particularly interest, it's not in the business of the lawyers. You should get it straight. That is not primarily in the business of the lawyers. Some people have this mindset of saying that this lawyer sabotage, The only place I might have issues with any of the lawyers is where that lawyer is sabotaging our leader's release, or I sense that the lawyer is indirectly going against his own duty of releasing our leader, indirectly working with the enemies. All the times I have spoken against any of the lawyers, it is when I sense something like that. Okay? But on a general note, the lawyers are Nigerian lawyers. So it is not in the place of the lawyers whether our leader Mazi is freed as a Nigerian or whether he's freed as a Biafran, or whether he accepts to be a Nigerian before they free him, or whether he doesn't accept to be a Nigerian. You understand? It's not in their place. But these people, they want to make sure that they break our leaders' resolve by breaking our resolve first. They want to make sure that the Biafran people are no longer resolute. You might be hearing the background sound, might be hearing noise at the background. Where I am, there is rain, so please bear with me. I hope you can still hear me. If you can hear me clearly, you can just write something down on the comment box. Okay, you can just write that you're hearing me. If you're finding it difficult to hear me, you can also put it down and write something on the comment box to so that I will know if adjustments can be made, because this message is very, very important. So they are buying time to see, because you must understand that all this while they have been trying to break our leader, they have been trying to get him to agree to not continue the Biafra movement, to not continue to agitate. And that is why, because our leader have not agreed, that is why they keep pushing the case, pushing the case, pushing the case. Now, what you must know is that the zoo and their collaborators, Europe, whether America is involved directly or indirectly, the West, that wants Biafra land to continue to be in Nigeria. these folks put together, they have exhausted everything, every strategy to make sure that Biafra land doesn't go free. They have exhausted all their strategies. So between now and December 15th, when the Supreme Court is to come up whether they are going to shift it, at most, they will not be able to shift it up to 6 months. They will not even be able to shift it more than a month from that day because they've already given a date. Just like the September 14th that they gave until they pushed it until October 5th. Maybe they wouldn't have done it this October 5th if there was no date of September 14th. Okay? Now, and they knew that if they did not give a date, it will be worse. Things will be worse because it's as if, okay, we are going to announce the date of the judgment. Oh, it will be worse. So they have to give a date. So now they've given a date, December 15th. Even if they don't do that December 15th, around that date, not too far from that date, they are going to do it. Now they have no choice. They must release our leader. You must understand that they have exhausted everything that they have to do. Our people cannot be broken. So what they are looking at is this is their last line of action. If you relax now, all the works that you've done is a waste. Everything that you've been doing is a waste. All your sacrifices is a waste. Because they are only doing this one, like when you're trying something and you're failing. You keep doing it, you're failing. You keep doing it, you're failing. You keep doing it, you're failing. It will get to a point whereby you will want to, like, you just want to just try this last lap. If it doesn't fail, then you just give up. If it succeeds, oh, you celebrate. That is where they are. This is their last line of action. After now, they are releasing our leader. There is no other reason why they should keep him. There is no other reason why they should keep him. If you continue all this gossip, looking for one person to gossip, like somebody was saying, now that the case is over, we can now gossip. If you follow such gossips, they will distract you. Everybody will now be distracted. Before you know it, it's December 15th. And everywhere will become cold. When they give their bad news, see, you must understand that when the fire is hot, when you get news, that's why I was laughing at this obedience. That time when they announced the results, that was the time obedience was supposed to go to the streets. But they weakened their spirits. Their Messiah will be told them we'll go to court. How far? Court, how far? The same court that Mazi have been since June 2021. The same court that have said that Mazi should be released since last year. The same court. It is the same court. The same court in the zoo that said that Mazi should be given certain amount of money for compensation in the invasion of his home and his hometown. The same court that the executive have not respected or responded to. It's the same court that the obedience were told that they will go to, and they were celebrating. How many months? By the time you got to the court, because their fire is small, they cannot be compared to the kind of fire that we have for the restoration of Biafra. We told them that you people are just distractions. They said no. Okay, go ahead. Is it not over? It is over. The obedient movement is over. Even though they are still on the internet, they see there are little fire, they still put it on the internet, and now some of them are supporting article. It's okay, they are still using their fire small, but that fire of revolution that they were coming with is dead and gone. By the time it was time for the court case, it was no longer there. By the time the judgment came, it's gone. Judgment has been given, there's nothing you can do. They find their way out to give reasons why your case is not a case. The zoo, they always feel they are very smart. They always believe they are very smart. But we are smarter. We are smarter. Mazi Kanu trained us well. We are smarter. Some of us were born. We were born just for this case. Just for this. This is the only thing that gives us joy. This is the only thing that gives us joy, that gives us peace. We were born to make sure that Biafra land is free. And until Biafra land is free and developed, nothing can touch us. It doesn't matter what you do. You can keep trying, but you keep failing. Some of us are born for this cause. So it's not an artificial matter like the obedience, something. That one is that anything done for Nigeria is artificial. It has no roots. There is nobody born for a Nigerian cause. Any cause in Nigeria is man-made. It has no spiritual backing, no spiritual roots, no spiritual backing. No spirit will back you, no spirit. No time to back you except the devilish spirits, the evil spirits that people use, evil people use, because that one is meant to sustain artificial things. All those evil spirits, they are meant to sustain artificial things. But the real spirits of the land cannot back you when you're standing for something that is artificial, for something that God did not create. There are some spirits that the Creator created to protect the creation. So if you're in line with the creation, those spirits will naturally protect you. Naturally, those spirits will protect you. But even though your cause might be good, but if it is not a natural creation, if it's not something created by the Creator, there is nothing on ground designed to protect it. So it will fail. That's why the zoo. That is why nobody can successfully carry out a revolution in the zoo and it will last. Look at NSAS, Alpha. Where did it get to? It failed. Sustained. It cannot be sustained. You should understand that. It cannot be sustained. Okay, so on this matter, those of us that are here, we're not just here. It's not because we just like to be talking on social media, on radio, and all that. That's not why we're doing this. There are some of us. In fact, when I was a child, if you knew me very well, I wasn't the type that liked mixing up. Even though I was a very talented child, I was filled with many talents as a child growing up. But how many of them did I exhibit as a child? I was always hiding. I didn't want to show myself in public. I'm not naturally not the public type. I like being alone, being with myself alone. I always hide. Stay by the corner, stay by the side. Okay? I always hide. So, but there are certain times, there are certain things that you just cannot hide. That thing that is inside of you will bring you out. And that is why I am calling on all of our people. This is the time. This is the time to rise up and begin to do. If you have stopped doing what you were doing for the restoration of Biafra, I'm not talking about those that all they have been doing now is to be looking for one person. Oh, bring this one down, bring this one down, bring this one down. To them, they have been made to believe that it is individuals that are stopping the restoration of Biafra. Individuals that are in the movement with them. Oh, so they begin to pick them. Anybody that maybe one person or the other told them that they don't like. Oh, I don't like this person. And they blackmail them and say this person, without facts, without proofs, they blackmail them and say this person is the one stopping our movement. They will now begin to put all their heads in that person, forgetting the zoo, forgetting Britain, forgetting the West, forgetting the interest of the West on our land. They begin to chase individuals. That's not what I'm talking about. That thing that you've been doing, that has been making the enemies of you uncomfortable. If you have stopped doing it, this is the time you should go back and do it times 10. Right now, between now and December 15th, we have this time. This is a time for us to show to the world that we truly want Biafra, that we are not tired. This is the time to show that we're not tired. Because once you begin to show that you're tired, see, you should understand that the Caucasians are running this world. And there are certain things I've noticed about the Caucasians. The Caucasians are not people that are tired. When they fix their gaze on a matter, they don't get tired. They keep doing it. And that is why when they see people that get tired, they laugh at you, because that is how they are. The Caucasians don't get tired. If Caucasians are fighting for their freedom, they will continue to fight. 200 years, they are still fighting. They are not tired. Except they are comfortable to an extent, things are going on well and all that. Even at that, some of them will still be fighting little by little. Look at Spain. Look at Catalonia. The only reason Catalonia is fighting to be free from Spain. It's not because they do not have access to job and all of those things. The reason they are fighting is because they have not been Spain before. They were not Spain before. Spain captured them and is ruling over them. Okay? For how many years now? For a very long time, Spain have been ruling over them. But the same access to everything that an average Spanish citizen have. They have access to everything. They have good life. Unlike the way it is in the zoo, whereby it is hell on earth. They won't even allow you to develop. Okay? So they have good life and all that. But they are still talking about their freedom. Even the Africans now, they will not even remember again. Nobody will even talk about it. They will say it as fast. Once something gets up to 10 years, an African man is tired. 10 years is even high. Once it gets to 5 years, oh, we've been doing this thing for long. How long? How long? How long have you been doing it? How long have you been doing it? How long that you're tired now? Just now you're tired. Weakness. You're weak. That is the truth. You're weak. You are weak. Oh, you think it will be easy? Well, let us do shut. In 1 year, it is over. You think it's easy? It is not easy. It is not easy. It is not easy. If you get tired easily, you are weak. That's the fact. And that's what I'm seeing in many of our people. Our people are weak. We are weak. Because The zoo is holding our leader for 2 years plus now. Some people are getting tired. Though it's not just because they are holding our leader. Of course, I know that there are some principal actors that are purposely making people to get tired. But the question is, what is your drive? What was your drive before you came here? Did you come here because of some people? Our leader didn't start the Biafra movement with IPOB. He started with Maso. And when Uwazirike and the Maso failed, when the Maso movement failed, he had to continue. And that was the birth of IPOB. Okay, so irrespective of what your opinion is about one person or the other, you cannot say that the IPOB movement has failed. Therefore, you want to start your own. No. You can't say the IPOB movement has failed. Why? Our leader is still in the hands of the enemy. He has not betrayed us. And we're not going to betray him. We're not going to disappoint him. He has not disappointed us. He told us, I will not disappoint you, but you will disappoint me. If you're getting tired, you have disappointed our leader. That's a fact. It means that you cannot endure hardship. You're not tough in the inside. That is what it means. And this is the time to show. This is a call to wake you up. If you have been sleeping, this is a call to wake you up. You must wake up. This is the time you have to show your resolve. They don't want you to protest anymore. Right now, in the whole world, even though they have started using, they have launched an attack on Israel in order to distract us. Okay, whether the zoo have a hand in that, this thing, I don't even know. But if you're not careful, that will be a source of distraction. Of course, I do not support the attack against Israel. Okay, but you should understand that Israel is a major figure in this world. When things happen to Israel, every pointer will go towards Israel. Right now, the pointer that have been on Ukraine, Russia-Ukraine war is going towards Israel now. Okay, it's getting towards Israel. But that doesn't mean that we Biafrans will forget our own pain. Our pain is real. Our pain is there. The zoo are still carrying army to Biafra land. The Nigerian army is still going to Biafra land every day, killing people, burning houses. Okay, people that have died in Biafra land or that are still dying in Biafra land are more than the people that died in Gaza Strip. Now, I'm not saying this to undermine the death of those of the Israelis that died in Gaza Strip. Okay, my heart goes towards the Israelis that died in Gaza Strip and the war. But I am telling you this because our condition is real. Whether you love Israel, whether you hate Israel, our condition is real. Of course, we have some of them supporting us, some of them in our movement, which is good. And we are also, our heart is also towards what is going on there. We wish that the war stops and that there is peace in Israel. But there should be peace in Biafra land as well. But that peace should not be according to the dictates of our enemies, but according to what we want. We are the owners of the land. Our case is not, we're not struggling the land per se with people, but we're struggling to occupy for our land by the Nigerian government. because we're not Nigeria. We've never been. So they should leave our land for us to run our affairs and determine our destiny, because we have no place in Nigeria. They have denied us of every right of citizenship, citizen rights in Nigeria. When people die in Biafra land, nobody talks about it. When a single soul dies in Lagos, everybody talks about it. When one person dies in the north, everybody talks about it. But when people die in Biafra land, nobody talks about it. They want to suppress it. Why? Because Biafrans are not considered people in Nigeria. So we want our freedom. We want our peace. So because what is happening in the other part of the world are happening does not mean that we are going to relax. And does not mean that we are going to assume that the world is not going to listen to us. The world must continue to listen to us. And that is why I am saying that this is the time for people to go out. Don't think that they have heard. They have not given the Supreme Court have not given the judgment. They did not say that they have given judgment. Our leader should be released on December 15th. No, that's not what they have said. They said that they are going to give judgment. How their judgment will determine how Biafrans react now. Why wasn't that judgment given? So this is the time for all of us to come out. Come out. I'm not talking about those in Biafra land, because it's dangerous in Biafra land to come out to protest. But those people outside the rest of the world enjoying themselves. Now, I'm not saying that they are not suffering some level of pain, because many of our people in diaspora are giving as in too much. Some are even giving almost 100% of what they are supposed to keep behind, apart from what they are feeding with and running their day-to-day activities. They are giving a lot to the Biafra movement. Okay, so I cannot say that those outside are enjoying. Okay, because it's not easy to give money. It's not easy to invest in something. It's never easy. It's never easy. So I'm not by this undermining their inputs in the Biafra movement, and some of them are also contributing their time on the media. Some of our people in diaspora are only on Facebook because of the Biafra movement. If not, they may not have been on Facebook or on Twitter. So that takes time as well. Okay, so I'm not in any way undermining it. But what I'm saying, your physical contribution, okay, this is the time, because people in Biafra land, I will not advise them to get on the streets. They will kill them, like they've always done. So if you're in the UK, if you are in the UK, most especially in the UK, it is time for those in the UK to even come out and tell Britain to let our leader go. Protest. Let Nnamdi be released. Do not think, oh, they've heard. Let us wait for judgment. Don't wait for judgment. Don't wait for judgment before you begin to protest, before you begin to discuss. Because when we begin to disturb the world and say that Mazi should be released, okay, we don't need to wait for there are judgments that have been given already. We don't need to wait for this one to let the world that we are still serious, that we have not gone to sleep. Because, my dear, if you relax, they will assume that we've gone to sleep. And when a false judgment is given, it takes time. It takes time. It is cheaper now than to say, let us wait. When they give a false judgment, we'll go to war. You think to go to war is easier? It is easier to get on the streets in Europe, in the Americas, to get on the streets and placards saying that Mazi should be released. It is easier than to send weapons to Biafra land for war. it is easier than to ask soldiers or to begin to train men to go to war because of your freedom. What I'm telling you now is a secret they know. I'm revealing the secret to you. They know. Our enemies know that they are waiting for us to capitulate so that they can give whatever judgment that they choose. And they can be there to intimidate our leader and break his spirit and tell him that your people are tired. That your people no longer listen to you. Your voice no longer matters. Your people cannot do this. They can threaten him and tell him that we can keep you here for 30 years. We can keep you here for 20 years. All you just need to do is just to sign and say that you're not going to continue this Biafra movement anymore. But if you come out and show your resolve, organize yourself. I don't need to come and tell you, oh, you need to do this. Organize yourself. Anybody that is telling you do not protest, like they did to our people in South Africa, anybody that is telling you is, do not protest, mark that person. That person is the enemy. Is working for the enemy. Anybody that tries to stop our people from protesting for our leaders' release, we're not supposed to stop. Why should you stop? What are you waiting for? Waiting for them to give judgment? No. Let the world not forget. See, it's not about you. Even if by December 15th, if we keep enlightening the world about what is happening in Biafra land, what has happened, if we keep agitating, there is somebody I spoke to recently. People are beginning to forget. Let me tell you, people outside Biafra land, people outside the zoo are beginning to forget that this our movement is still active. In case you do not know. Why? Many of you are no longer protesting. You're no longer talking. You're relaxed. The voices of people talking are reducing by the day. You're relaxed. People are forgetting. I discussed with somebody of recent, and the person was like, hey, but yeah, this period. So what? Man, it was difficult to convince the person that things are still happening in Biafra land, that people are still dying in Biafra land. Why? Because many of you have gone to relax. You are tired. You have gone to sleep. Some people will say, oh, the protesting doesn't do you need to do things in Biafra land. See, we are not the reason we failed in 1967 to 70 was because the focus was on Biafra land. Even though Ojukwu had plans to spread the message beyond Biafra land, okay, even though he had plans to spread the message all over the world, message, because he was on ground in Biafra land, and the person he sent to spread the message turned around to become an agent of the zoo, which is the former president, former ceremonial president of the zoo, which is Nnamdi Azikiwe. He turned around against Biafra. And him having many friends all over the world and having a name as former president of the zoo called Nigeria, he would have even been a stronger face to carry the message of Biafra around the world than even Ojukwu, because he has ruled the whole of Nigeria, or supposedly so. So him speaking on that Biafra, so Ojukwu selected him rightly. But instead of that, what do we get? He turned around and things became difficult. Things became difficult to spread the message around the world. So the world was not aware of what was happening. In the United States of America, they were talking about the news, but they will put it at one very little portion. How many people read every detail in a newspaper? In the newspaper, they will put it at one little portion, one very minute portion of the newspaper, so that like 99% of the people will not even see it, will not even see the news about Biafra. Definitely on their TV stations, they will not even mention it. They will not even talk about Biafra or anything like Biafra. Okay? They will not even talk about Biafra. So all they did all these things to make sure they suppressed the news. Now, we have access to radio, we have social media, but it's not enough. There is too many noise in the world right now that if you do not make your own noise, nobody will know that you are there. I'm telling you, that is the secret. Of course, we are talking on social media, we are talking on all these media platforms. It's not enough. It is better when people see you on the ground. They will know that indeed you're serious. Because many people are talking on social media. You're not the only one. Do not forget that. You're not the only one talking on social media. Many others are talking on social media. So if you relax thinking that because of what you are saying on social media is fine and the whole world is hearing you, it's not everybody. Some people are even not on social media. They need to see you. They need to see what is going on. Okay? They need to see. So that is why our people need to come out. Between now and December 15th, we should come out on the streets. And there's an information that just dropped, and I will announce it right now. The appeal courts that IPOB filed against the proscription of IPOB is coming up on the 16th of October. That is 6 days from today. Okay, it's coming up on the 16th of October, this month of October. And our leader, on our leader's instruction, this news is being passed. Let me just read it as it is from his lawyer. As the appeal filed by IPOB against this prescription comes up for hearing on 16th of October, MK has directed me to publicly convey his strong objections to any further adjournment of the case. Okay? It's bad enough that the case has been hit by several adjournments since 2018. Are you seeing? This case has been there since 2018, even before they held our leader. Because this case to deproscribe IPOB has been there. They chose to go and hold our leader, and they focus on the one about our leader. So our leader is saying that he doesn't want it to be adjourned, has been over adjourned. These are things that we should come out on the street and protest about. IPOB must not, the proscription of IPOB has to be lifted by the zoo. And everywhere in the world, it's not only in the zoo, because if you say you want to protest in the zoo, they are very, very happy when they bleed our people. So do not protest in the zoo. Do not protest in the zoo. Okay? But you can protest outside of the zoo, except you have another way to protest in the zoo that does not include carrying placards and going about making yourself vulnerable for the enemies to destroy you. Because if anything happens to any one of us, it's a general pain that we all feel. So don't think that you expose yourself and it is fine. When our people in Abia State exposed themselves, and many of them were run down and killed, I was not told, I was not aware, nobody communicated to me. I only saw them when it happened. And I thought that since they planned it, that they also planned a way to protect themselves. But of course they didn't. And we saw what happened. So if you have such plans, okay, then you should have a plan to protect yourself. So I'm not even asking you to do that. But all of our people all over the world, you should do that. You should come out and protest. October 16th is the day for hearing, okay? It's the day for hearing for the proscribing of IPOB. IPOB is not a terror group. IPOB have never attacked innocent people, women and children. The security arm of IPOB, Eastern Security Network, has never attacked any innocent person. I've only defended Biafra land from terrorists in our forests and the terrorists that attack our people. That's the work that the ESN have done. The terrorists that have been trying to hinder our people and from farming so as to cause hunger strike on our land. We sent these terrorists on our land so that there will be hunger, just as there was hunger in the 1960s to 70s during the genocide. Okay, that was the reason they sent these terrorists to our land. So that's why we had to stop them. They wanted to make sure that there is hunger in the land. So that was the reason the Eastern Security Network was put together. So we have not been involved in any form of terrorism as we know it in the world. Even though we have been agitating and they've been killing us, we have not been involved in any form of terrorism. They have been killing our innocent people, go to our communities, kill innocent people. We have never done the same to the zoo or to the Fulani settlements in Fulani land, or go about killing innocent Fulani people in Biafra land. We have never done that. The only ones that have been engaged are those that are hiding in the forest as criminals and terrorists. Those are the only people that the Eastern Security Network have sent packing from our land so that our mothers can continue to farm, our farmers can continue to go to farm and the food. You know, there are some places that people don't go to farm anymore, and foodstuffs are very expensive because people don't go to farm. Everybody white collar job. They don't go to farm, so food is expensive. But we cannot afford that in Biafra land. People still go to farm in Biafra land. In my community, people still go to farm. Young people, you see them go to farm with the old people. They'll go to farm, they'll come back. Some of them, they go to farm, they don't do any other work, they go to farm, they harvest and they sell. When it is the season to sell fish, they sell fish. When it is the season to sell pepper, they sell pepper. Different things. Plantain, they sell. They go to farm. Many of them, they are living fine. They don't do any other work because they are farming. Then you now allow terrorists into the land, and what will now happen to these people in the communities? And it is because they are farming, and people are because they are farming and they have excess to sell. That is why in Biafra land, food is accessible. You can imagine if food becomes very, very expensive. Can imagine if food becomes very, very expensive in Biafra land. How is it going to look like? So that is what we're talking about. On the 16th of October, this month, 2023, is the date for the hearing. Okay. And it is important that our people continue. Do not think that everything rely on Biafra land. That is what the enemy is trying to do. Make sure that the whole world is quiet. I mean, IPOB all over the world is quiet. To an extent, they have achieved that. Yes, they have achieved it. I'm telling you. Many of you now are quiet. Our people in South Africa were fought, taken to court by people that are supposed to, that claim that they are leading IPOB. They are taking them to court and all that, did everything just because they came out asking for our leader to be released. You understand? So that doesn't mean that you now stop. You now keep quiet. You now relax. See, sometimes I just wish that maybe I was even in some of those other places, so that even if it is only me, I'll come out on the street and carry placards and let somebody video me. Even if it is only one person, let us have it that people are still calling for the release of Mazi in different places in this world. It is important from time to time, at least once in a month, such things should be happening, so that the world will not assume that we have forgotten. Okay, based on, I want to apologize that we're not able to come live on the radio. There are some challenges that I am having on my end here with some of my devices, and when that is fixed, we'll get back on the radio. Okay, but for now, this message is very, very, very important. I cannot afford to keep it. I cannot afford to wait, because I'm not sure when exactly I will be able to fix the things that needs to be fixed. Okay, so I couldn't wait anymore. I wanted to give this message. This message is what was in my mind immediately after that hearing, and the lawyers came up and said the things that they said. I wanted to address it immediately with this particular message on the judgment day. That judgment day is a judgment day for the Biafra movement. It's not just the judgment for the hearing of Mazi Nanikanu's case, Mazi Nanikanu's Supreme Court case. You know that Supreme Court is the highest court. So we have gone through all the courts, High Court, Appeal Court, Supreme Court. Now, and the hearing have been done. Now it is for the judgment. That judgment is going to be the judgment of how our people, how you as an individual, you are pushing for the Biafran freedom, for the freedom of Biafra. You should understand that the reason they just cannot release Mazi Nanikaну is because they can't afford to release him without anything tangible. There must be something tangible. Mazi Nanikanu is there. He told us that he will fight from the front. He is there. He is leading us. Are you following? Mazi Nanikanu, where he is fighting. Are you following? Are you fighting along, or you are relaxed? When he told you, I am bringing hell to the zoo, I will fight from the front. you were thinking it's a physical fight. He will come to the zoo and declare war. That's what some of you are thinking. The man is in the zoo now. He's in the zoo, is he not? And he's leading. He's fighting for the front. This right now where we are is a war of the mind. And that battle, our leader where he is also facing it. is also facing the battle. You, where you are, you should as well be facing the battle and not to be battling people. Put your focus, your gaze on the goal, not to be battling people, not individuals. Put your focus on the goal. So this Judgment Day on the 15th of December 2023, how we have handled this matter, how we handle it to that very day, that 14th, the day before that day, will determine what that judgment will be. We all know the zoo now. I'm not here to begin to tell you what the zoo is. We all know how the zoo can change judgments and obtain results, and we all know how they are magic. We all know all their magic and what they can do. You know, I'm not in the position to begin to tell you that. You know that there is nobody that does not know, except somebody that have not lived in the zoo before, or somebody that is not from within that geographical space. So you know, I'm not here to tell you. You know the games. You know how dirty the zoo judiciary is, and how much the executive can decide the judgment. We all know. So if we begin to show weakness, relaxing, sleeping, complaining, oh, this one did it, this one offended me. If you continue to show all this weakness, or maybe you even show it even more, because I can see they are trying to hit up the distractions so that you'll be more focused on distraction instead of the goal. If you allow it to happen, God forbid you allow it to happen. Because if you allow it to happen, the judgment will be different. It will be different from what you're expecting. When some people are telling you, oh, it is over, we are relaxed. No, this is not the time to relax. Until we see that judgment that is in the favor of our leader and they release our leader, nobody's relaxing. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. And this brings us to the close of today's program. I want to thank you very much for listening. Please make sure you share this message, share this gospel to as much people as you can, so that our people will be awakened. Okay? Share to as much as you can. God bless you. And be safe, most especially for those of our people in Biafra land. Be safe. Continue doing what you're doing. However you're doing it, continue. Ensure that you do not give up. Ensure you do not relax. Because you stand a chance to win it all or to lose it all. That is the time that we are. Stand a chance to win it all or lose it all. It is either win or lose. We are in that period now. We are in a very, very sensitive period in this movement. Very sensitive time in this movement. It is either we win now, though we cannot lose, but it might be another drag if you relax now. Maybe when that's the time you now want to wake up. Let it not be so. Thank you very much for listening. God bless you. My name is Kimiowei TARI NEMI, and I am your host. This is the voice of the coast. The voice of the coast on the platform of Biafra Radio. Thank you very much. God bless you.